All right, guys, we are going to go ahead and now we got the recording started. We're going to officially kick this call off, and we're going to be walking through, how to do telesales. But specifically tonight, we're going to be talking about the SLICE Telesales app. Keep in mind, one of the differences when you're doing telesales, you need to be connected to the internet using, probably just a laptop is fine. You need to have that internet connection because it is a live connection, and you're going to be using the SLICE app. One of the differences between doing telesales and doing field sales is that you're going to be using the web-based version of the SLICE app, not the version on your iPad with the iOS where you're doing the finger signature. So this first screen should look very familiar. This is my agent portal. This is where you're going to log in right here where it says SLICE Telesales. And it's going to have the login here. Now I do have, give me 1 second because I do have autofill in here. Let me just stop sharing for a second. You guys don't need the last 4 of my social, do you?
Not unless you give us the rest.
No, we need the rest.
Minimize the Zoom. Okay, hang on.
Hey, Joe, is that for PC as well as iPad?
PC or you mean if you're doing telesales?
Yeah. I mean, the SLICE, the
Any computer will
web-based.
work. If you're doing telesales, you just need to be connected to the internet, and you're going to the agent portal. You're not opening up an app.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Let's see, you cannot minimize this. Okay, great. So now we're logged in to the telesales, the SLICE app, the telesales version of the SLICE app on the agent portal. Before you get going and doing this, the first thing that you want to do is just make sure that you check your preferences. You see this toolbar up at the top where it says preferences. Click on that. You need to make sure that your microphone is on. And then there's an option that says presentation PDFs. Do you want to skip them or not? Now, for me, I do not skip them. And I'll tell you the reason why is because even though the client's not going to be able to see them, in case that client has to be, they go modified or guaranteed issue, I want to be able to read from the screen to make sure that I'm quoting them exactly what they will qualify for. So I go ahead and leave this on. I leave the PDFs on. I also leave I do not skip the video. Sometimes I will play it, even though they cannot see it, they can still hear part of it, which is good. So everything is set. Now, when you're going to start your application and when you're doing telesales, it's really important to have this screen already up. And typically I click on it and I already have this version. So like I'm ready to go. So when I have my lead and I'm making that connection, and we're not going through the script tonight, that's going to be for a different time, but I want to be ready to start typing in because I want to be, I want to verify their information, make sure that I, verify their name, address, date of birth, street address, because we're going to do a little bit of the pre-qualifying and asking the health questions before we start pitching the product. So here we go. Let's see. Okay, hang on 1 second. Let me let Bill in. All right, Bill, welcome to the call, buddy. So here we go. I'm just going to go ahead and just put in a fake deal. We'll just do it for Mary Smith. I'll leave the date of birth alone. Make sure you check what gender they are. Typically, the owner is going to be the self. You could change that if they were buying it for someone else, but probably 95% of the time, most of the apps that you're going to be doing is going to be self. What city are you currently in? Type in the city that the client is in, not where you are, but where that client is. And then what state. When you click this little button, it's going to prompt, it's going to give you the states that you're currently licensed in. But I'm doing this deal in Illinois. Once you got that in, you're basically just clicking next. This is just a little prompt that comes up. adults insured must answer health questions. Okay. Now, hospitalization, this is where you start doing a little bit of pre-qualifying to determine what that client is going to qualify for. What a lot of agents, when they're doing telesales, kind of the way they will preface this is that, hey, Bob or Mary, hey, these are the discount questions. As a state licensed agent, I want to make sure that I get you the lowest possible rate that's available. So I'm just going to ask you a few simple health questions. Now, listen, Mary, I know this first question may seem silly, but listen, I am required to ask that. And that is, are you currently hospitalized or living in or residing in a nursing facility? Answer is going to be no to that. And here you just go in, this is the same as doing, whether you're on this app or you're doing the other SLICE app, it's all the same. Have you been hospitalized 2 or more times in the past 10 years? Have you been diagnosed with cancer or heart attack? I'm going to answer no to that. Any nicotine or tobacco? I'm going to say I've got a non-smoker. In the past 10 years, have they used any tobacco, nicotine products, or had blood pressure reading over 135 or 80, 135 over 85? I'm going to answer yes to that. Maybe they had, got diagnosed with high blood pressure, 8-9 years ago, and they were on medication. In the past 5 years, have you used any tobacco products? I'm going to say no. They've been not smoking for over 5 years. By the way, if you were to answer yes to that, it's just going to it's going to drop it down. It's going to ask you, have they used any tobacco products in the last 12 months? So you just kind of follow the prompts. In this section, you should be able to fly through this pretty quickly, just getting your client pre-qualified for what they're going to qualify for. Height and weight, 5'9", 175. We'll just bump that up to 205. Does the proposed take any medications? Keep in mind, Senior Life does not run an MIB or motor vehicle. All they're going to do is do an RX check. So it's very important that you ask your client what medications that they're on. You do not want to miss any. Does the proposed insurer take any medications? For this, I'm going to answer yes. Some of the more common stuff would be like if they're diabetic, they're going to take metformin. Let's see. Oh, wait a minute. Hang on. METF. Metformin. It's going to ask me what it's for. It's diabetes. Let's say they have high blood pressure. They take lisinopril. Lisinopril, that's going to be for high blood pressure. So just type in the medications that they're going to be taking. Now it's going to list the products that they can qualify for. It's going to list the best product first, super preferred or preferred. Now, obviously, I'm going to give my client, there's no reason why I would quote them preferred when they can get super preferred. So I'm going to give them the best rate class that they would qualify for. Adult insurers are required to answer their own health questions. Okay, we know that. Then it's going to open up the PDF. And the reason why this is good, just in case you forget, on the second screen, when you scroll down, it's going to tell you exactly what that client is going to qualify for. So great, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, it looks like I can get you approved for anywhere between $5,000 policy and $30,000, and can't make any promises, but look like I'm going to be able to get you a super preferred rate. Okay. So with me anyway, I never promise them I can get it. I always want to use that little bit of a takeaway that, hey, can't make any promises, but listen, I feel pretty confident I should be able to get you approved. I always want there to be, a little bit of hesitation. People in life inherently want what they think they can't have. So you tell them, oh man, I got you approved. Oh, okay, well, great. Let me think about it now. Always leave that little bit of doubt that you got to go through the entire process, be able to get them approved. Once you've done the PDFs, you just click the next screen. This is going to take you to the legacy video. Here it is. Actually, I'm sorry. It takes you to the legacy brochure first. Now, when you're doing telesales, and we're going to do another training video where we go through the whole thing, once you've asked them the health questions and you know what they're going to qualify for, this is when you're going to tell them about, pitch them on the benefits of the legacy membership and the senior life, whole life product with all the guarantees, you know, that it's guaranteed never to be canceled. The premiums are guaranteed never to go up. You would really want to stress those points before you give them the quotes. Okay, so just make sure you do not skip this. And the PDF files are kind of, to me anyway, it's kind of a little reminder that I cannot skip that. You just don't want to pre-qualify them and give them the quotes first. You want to do the pitch on the legacy. And then the legacy video, if you want to skip this, just skip it. I know some agents at this point, before they give the quotes, they just put their client on speakerphone and they play the first 2 minutes of the legacy video. For tonight's purposes, for this training, we're going to skip that. What I would recommend as you get involved in telesales, try it. Maybe some of your telesales, play the audio of this for them. See what kind of response that you get. And if you get a favorable response, keep doing it. And I've never had a client, I can tell you this, I've never had a client hang up on me while I was playing that video. Okay, then I'm going to go next. And then this is where it's going to give you the quotes. Okay, this is the part where you're going to close your client. And we're not going through closing techniques tonight, but it will automatically populate a good, better, best. And then there is a custom quote that you can do. What I like about this is that you can just scroll and you can go anywhere from 30,000 to 5,000. The other thing too is keep in mind is that when you do the quote, it's automatically including legacy and the accidental death benefit. Okay, the legacy membership is $4 a month, which is a separate billing. It bills the same time that their policy does, but it will be on their bank statement or credit card. It will be broken out separately. But when you're doing the quote, as an example, this $72 a month, this $82 a month, that includes the $4 for legacy already. So when you're giving them the quote, you don't need to add an extra $4 to it right now. Keep in mind too, for those people that are new, legacy not only covers your client, but it also covers up to 4 other household members that are in that household, even if they're not related. Could be a friend, or it could be, an elderly aunt, or maybe they have a 95-year-old mother who's still alive, can't get them life insurance, but guess what? They can be included in your client's legacy policy. That has made several sales for me just to be able to include additional family members with legacy. If you take off the accidental, you will notice it will lower the premiums a little bit. Let's see, this one was like 72 and some change. Took off the accidental. I'm sorry, I think I said legacy. I meant accidental. So, it's like, $2 or $3 a month, depending on their age and gender. Okay. Men are a little bit higher for the accidental. Okay. Now, once I've closed my client, and it doesn't matter which one I pick, but I'm just going to do I like the 18,000 with $18,091. That's a pretty good premium. So let's say I close my client on this. Now I'm ready to continue. Okay, I'm going to let Brian in. Hey, Brian, thanks for joining. We are getting this recorded, so you'll be able to view it later. There you go. So I've selected my what it is that I want to do, the $91 a month. Now I'm just going to click next. Okay, now I'm going to be filling in, haven't got to the part where I'm going to be recording, but I'm filling in the additional part. Once I close my client, okay, great, Mary, you got $91 a month. Mary, out of curiosity, who do you want this money to go to? Who's going to be your beneficiary? Oh, it's going to be my son, Joe Smith. So we're just going to type in Joe's name here, no middle initial. This all has to be completed before I can get to before I can show you how the recording works. What's the relationship? That's the son. Let's see, for beneficiary, I do not need a phone number. It's automatically going to default to 100%. Now, if they do not want to name a second beneficiary, like let's say they want it between, they want two primaries. Right here is where you would add it, where it says add another primary beneficiary. If they want a contingent beneficiary, you need to change this. As you can see, it automatically defaults and makes their estate the contingent beneficiary. But in this example, if I say, hey, Mary, well, God forbid Joe were to predecease you, or you guys, maybe, you passed away together in a car wreck, who would you want the money to go to? Oh, I want it to go to my cousin, so-and-so. Just click no right here, and then it'll give you an opportunity to put in a secondary beneficiary. But I'm just going to leave it as the estate for now. Would you like to include a charitable benefit rider? There is an additional rider that your clients can purchase that's above and beyond their insurance. They could name, their favorite charity or maybe their church as a charitable beneficiary. Most people do not choose that, but it is an option. If you don't feel like even mentioning it, don't even bring it up, just skip it. To be honest with you, I usually just skip it. Don't even ask. Okay, now we're going to go to next. Okay, I selected this. Here we go. Okay, proposed insured. Make sure you get the Social Security number in there. In this particular case, I'm just going to put in all ones. Just remember, if your client, if they have, let's say like a shady immigration status or whatever, just put in all ones for their Social Security number. Date of, let's see, I got all this in here. Address is 123 Maple Street, Illinois. Zip code is 60659. That's in Illinois. Telephone number is 224. Got to have a phone number in there. Email address. My client doesn't have an email address, so I'm just going to type in here no email at yahoo.com. There we go. So it is, the email is, so that the email field is required, but your client is not required to have an email, if that makes any sense. Okay, everything's looking good. The other thing too that you want to be looking for is, see at the top, make sure that you're getting all check marks. Beneficiary got a check mark, face amounts checked, insured is checked. So I'm tracking pretty good. So far, I have not made any mistakes. If you make any mistakes when you get to the recording part, it's going to let you know where you need to go back to make those repairs. Mother's maiden name for my client, I'll just leave it as Smith. And let's see, make sure I got all the fields put in. Let's see, this all looks good. I'm going to click next. Do you want automatic premium loan provision? Usually we're going to answer yes to that. That is where the cash value of the policy, as that builds after time. If your client were to have an interruption in their payment, maybe they're, they closed their bank account or credit card got switched, until they can get that fixed with Senior Life, the automatic loan provision, it borrows money from their policy to make the loan premiums so their policy does not lapse. Do you have any existing life insurance policies or annuity contracts? If they do, that's where you would put them in. In this example, my client does not have any existing life insurance. I'm going to answer no. Let's see, it looks like we're tracking pretty good. Now I'm going to go through all the health questions. Now, for this training purpose, I'm not reading all the health questions, but because this is all being recorded, sorry about the dark there, this is all being recorded, you'll be able to go back and review this. So I'm just going to answer no to all the health questions. Usually they will be no. Let's see, next. Let's see here, physician's name. If they don't know the name of their doctor or they don't have a doctor, just put in the name of the clinic that they go to, or I'm sure in the last 5 years they've been to, some type of, clinic or, someplace. Hang on one second, let me turn on my Dr. Smith. Everyone's going to be Smith today. No phone number is required. No address is required. Just put in the city. It's going to put in Chicago, Illinois, 60659. Okay, does the proposed insurer take any medications? Yes. Just make sure we got those included. Is the payer and the proposed insured the same person? Yes. The only time you would change that is if you got somebody else that's paying for the policy. Keep in mind, when you're doing telesales, you want to make sure that you have all parties involved on the call. So for some reason, if the person who's paying for the policy or the owner is going to be somebody different, do a three-way call where you have yourself, your client, and that other person on the call, so you can put them on speaker to do the conference call or do the recording. So I'm going to answer yes to this. Bank service plan. My client has a bank account, so we're going to do banking. Let's see, everything looks good. Banking info. I was going to say she banks with Chase. Routing number is 071-00013. Let's see, I need one more zero in there. And then account number, I'll just put in some numbers. Let's see, account type. This is going to be a checking account. She's going to do monthly initial withdrawal. This is when they want the first premium drafted. So when do they want their policy to start? Do they want it to start today? Do they need to wait till they get their next Social Security billing? You can change this. Okay. In this particular example, I'm going to say my client is on a super tight budget. They get paid on the 3rd of the month, so they're not going to get their Social Security until the let's say until the 3rd of April. Whoever is having the coughing fit, you could mute out. Let's see, initial withdrawal. Okay, I'm going to change that. I'm going to change it to April, and the 3rd is on a Monday. Okay, and then when do they want the reoccurring? Now, keep in mind too, if you future date a premium payment, you're not going to get paid for 2 weeks. Okay, so just keep that in mind. So if, when possible, try to get it where you're collecting a premium sooner than later. And keep in mind, Senior Life is never going to bill them twice in the same 30-day period. So if I were to, so in this particular situation, if they got paid on the 3rd of the month, if I did a premium today, they're not going to get billed again on April. It would be the following month. Billing interval type. So I'm going to do the day. They want the day of the week. You also have the option of doing the day of the week. I'm sorry, the weekday. So let's say they get their Social Security the 3rd Wednesday of the month, then you can change it to that. But in this example, my client gets paid on the 3rd. So now I'm going to select the day, the 3rd. Okay, now do I have, looks like I got all check marks, and I've got the insured, the owner, and the payor. It's all the same person. So I'm going to be recording them all. Okay, we'll go next. And let's see, applicant process is now complete. Please verify. Okay. I'm going to verify. I'm going to make sure I didn't make any mistakes. Now, because I put in a bogus account number, it's coming back that the account in funds, it gives me X's there, meaning the funds were not verified because it's a bogus account. Next. Okay, unable to verify financial amount. I'm going to go ahead and continue. If you hit return, it's going to take you back to that section. I want to continue because I want to be able to do the recording. Now, this is the part where you start doing the recording. This is the part where you need to make sure that you have your client on speakerphone. And you just need to kind of coach your client a little bit before you start doing the recording, and let them know that you're going to record you're going to read them the disclosures, and that their signature is going to act as their signature. And you're also going to tell your client, like, listen, Mary, I know I already read you all the health questions. I am going to have to read them to you again and record that. Just make sure you give me the exact same answers that you did before, which again, just to confirm, everything was no on the health questions. So you just want to kind of coach them a little bit. The other thing too, I'll just tell you about the recording. For some reason, if you get tongue-tied or you get stumped, don't worry about it. Just, you can pick up where you left off. The recording does not need to be perfect, okay? Now I'm going to go ahead and start recording. So you can see right here, this little microphone, you can see the little wave in there. So we're actually recording. We're doing like a live recording. So guys, I'm not going to read everything here verbatim. I'm going to kind of fly through it and just show you the screen. But I'll read the first one in full, and then I'll kind of go through here. So today's date is March the 14th, 2023, and the time is 7:32 p.m. That's Central Time, by the way. My name is Joseph Johnson with Senior Life Insurance Company and Legacy Assurance, and I have Mrs. Smith on the phone. Mrs. Smith, do I have your permission to record this call? She's going to say yes. Okay, great. The last four digits of your Social Security number are 1111, and your mother's maiden name is Smith. Ms. Smith, is that correct? Yes, that's correct. And then you just click next. The recording is going to be continuous. If you click cancel, it's going to cancel everything that you've already recorded, and it's going to take you back from the beginning. That's why I say if you get nervous or something, or you screw up or you get tongue-tied, don't worry about it. Just go back and just redo it a little bit. And then this just goes in that we have Mrs. Smith as the owner. You're basically just going to read this. Your mailing address is 123 Maple Street, the date, which makes you 65 years young, your height, your weight, your phone number. Is that all correct, Ms. Smith? Yeah, okay, great. Again, next. Hey, Mrs. Smith, you want your primary beneficiary of this policy. The relationship are as follows. Joe Smith, your son, 100%. And then the secondary beneficiary of the policy and the relationship are as follows. It's going to go to your state 100%. Yes, that's correct. You guys should be getting the flow of how we're doing this. Going to go through the face amount, what the premium payments are. Remember, this premium payment is a little bit less because this does not include the legacy. It also includes the accidental. And again, you're just recording all this. Now you're getting into the health questions. You need to read the health questions verbatim because this is being recorded. Or actually, just if you want, you can go onto the Senior Life website under forms. And if you want to print the actual paper application, so you're really familiar and you can practice reading the health questions so you know how to properly pronounce everything, you can print out a paper app and use that as a guide. But these questions are pretty easy. There's really nothing in here that should get you too tongue-tied. You're going to ask them about being diagnosed or treated with, AIDS, HIV, all these other things. And again, we're just going to go through. These are the health questions. Past 5 years, have you used any tobacco products? Blah, blah, blah. Past 5 years, have you been advised or recommended for any test, treatment, surgery, or hospitalization, which has not been received or completed? Blah, blah, blah. You're just reading all these health questions. Once you get the hang of it, trust me, you'll have this. Once you do like 3 or 4 applications, you'll have these memorized where you can almost read them or say them without having to read them. Your doctor's name. This talks about the automatic loan provision. They do, just keep in mind when you do this, there are 2 different sections. So they do need to answer twice to this, that they need to answer to that. And also, do they have any existing life insurance? Which the answer is going to be no. The insured statement, you're going to read through that. And read this statement, the HIPAA authorization, and you're almost done. You got the bank service plan, you're just verifying their checking and routing number. And let's see here, is legally binding. Yeah, you're just reading this statement to them. Let's see here. Okay. What did I do? Oh, okay. We actually got to the end. So this is the last thing. The last thing that you're going to do is the last thing you're going to do is the legacy assurance. And this is where, through the process, you're explaining to your client that there is a $4 charge for legacy, but it's already included in the monthly premium that you quoted. That's why it's important to do a great job of promoting legacy and the value that legacy presents to your clients. Now, when you get to the end, I'm not going to click this button, because if I were to click this button, that would finish it and that would submit my application. So we're not going to do that. Okay. I can just click. Now, again, if I were to accidentally click cancel, guess what? I can continue recording or cancel recording. If I cancel, it takes me all the way back to the beginning. So not a good thing. That's why it's better if you stumble a little bit, don't worry about it. Just kind of roll with it and go with it. So, I mean, that's basically, how you do an application. Once you're done with it, it's going to be submitted. Let's see here. You can check your pending. It'll take a little bit before it's pending. I don't have any in pending, but I do have some under construction. Like that app I just did is going to be under construction because I didn't complete it. I didn't actually submit it. So if you don't finalize it, you can still pull it up under construction and you can submit it later. All right, let me stop sharing my screen. Okay, so that's what we wanted to cover tonight. So pretty straightforward, I think. Any questions about, how to complete the application utilizing SLICE?
No, I don't have any questions.
No. Guys, if you want to practice on yourself, practice on yourself. You can do it as many times as you want. Just make sure when you get to the end, don't click that finalize button, because that will actually submit the application. You don't want to do that. If you do accidentally submit an application and you don't mean to, best thing to do is call Senior Life the next day. Just ask them you are just practicing and that you want to have the application withdrawn. Okay. So it's not the end of the world if you do it, but there's no reason to have to do that. So, all right, cool. So we're going to do these.
Question. Where would I be able to access the script? Take a look at it.
We have so I have two scripts that we use. You know, when you were on the, hang on one second. I'm just,
Earlier.
give me 1 second. I'm just going to pause. All right, everybody. Well, listen, thanks for hopping on the call tonight. If you do have any other questions, feel free to reach out to me. But we're going to go ahead and end this, and I will see you guys later. Thanks for being on the
Thank
call.
you.
Bye, everybody.
Thanks.
All right, awesome. Thank you.